Hello and welcome to Worst Case Scenario. This one's called Number 1 and Number 2. I like to brag about my cabin, and why not? I designed it myself and largely built it myself, using materials either cut from the surrounding forest or recycled from old torn down houses. I like to think it looks beautiful, even in its unfinished state, and I've been displaying my pride online, periodically posting photos showing my progress. I like to tell people about the cabin, how I planned it small to be sturdy and strong, how almost every piece of wood is different and has its own story to tell, and how the old recycled casement windows look out over a lovely secluded lake and a vast dark forest. I welcome curiosity and invite questions, and I get them. Where do you go to the toilet? It's what everybody asks. No one seems to want to know about anything else. Not about the lumber I've used, or how I carried it to the site on my back and in my canoe, or why I built the cabin the way I did, or what plans I have to expand it in the future. Nope. There's one popular question. Where do you do your doo-doo? Naturally, I do give toilets a great deal of thought, especially when I happen to be sitting on one, or on something that serves as one. A toilet is very much in the plans. There will be a small heated outhouse attached to the cabin wall under an extended section of the eaves. It should be a cozy place to sit, summer and winter. However, I'm still not sure what I'll eventually be sitting on. The world of toilets is a varied one, and I've got dozens of different waste disposal systems to choose between. I could, for instance, follow the example of municipalities everywhere, simply flush my grey water into the lake. It's an efficient system that works for thousands of toilets and for single ones as well. But the drawbacks are obvious to anyone who has to pass close by a public sewage outfall. The system might empty a toilet bowl efficiently, but it can just end up outside your window. I could, I suppose, build a version of the multi-million-dollar treatment plant that Happy Valley Goose Bay is finally constructing, so that it no longer spews its raw sludge into the Churchill River. That is a septic bed that uses weeping tiles to evenly disseminate the effluents into surrounding soil. But it probably won't work for me. The ground around my cabin is shallow soil on bedrock and is far too close to the lake. Ultimately, I believe the best option, for both practical reasons and to maintain a clean natural environment, is for me to construct or purchase some kind of dry composting toilet. The technology for these things has advanced so far and become so efficient, many demand no additives of any kind, require only the power that can be provided by a hand crank, and produce an odorless substance that in no way resembles what it once was. Perhaps we should wonder why such toilets are not installed and used in every home in the country, let alone in every cottage or remote cabin in the woods. Regardless, at this stage of my construction project, the composting toilet is a toilet for the future, and I still haven't answered the popular question. How do I unload my unmentionables? Where do I dump my domestic distillations, or dispose of my number 1s and 2s? Well, here it is. Since I can't yet employ the modernest of technologies, I've stuck to the tried and true, the Labrador tradition that I learned in Nain when the whole town froze up. I used it in my house for several months before the plumbing was hooked up, and I've now readopted it for wilderness use, with the addition of a carefully situated privy pit. The good old-fashioned white plastic honey bucket. Satisfied? Now, doesn't anyone want to know where the HBC stud came from? No? What? Or no, I don't keep that bucket outside this time of year. The air's a bit too chilly on the hindquarters right now. I'm Michael Johansen in Northwest River, Labrador.